All right. If you're watching this, this is most likely coming out after my Death of a Unicorn review. So I'm in the process of moving my apartment. That's sort of why I'm in this setup. And I wanted to do something that I haven't done. Maybe it'll become a more consistent thing on this channel. I don't really know when I'm going to get to edit this. But I decided to come on here and talk about the latest Criterion flash sale, which just happened. Recording this at the tail end of March, right before I'm about to move. And if you didn't know, the Criterion Collection often has these flash sales, but they'll also have these month-long sales, like Barnes & Noble sales, that usually come around the same time every year. And this year, it was delayed a little bit longer than I think everyone was expecting. But when it did happen, I made sure to get my order in as soon as possible. I set a budget for myself. I knew that I had a big move coming up in my apartment, and I knew I couldn't spend too much money, so I set the cap at $100. I knew what the first thing was that I was going to get, but everything else was a bit of a toss-up. I had a lot to choose from. I don't have the biggest Criterion collection myself. I'm actually still kind of slowly trying to build it up. But yeah, so I wanted to come on here and show you guys what I got and do, I guess what you can consider a bit of an unboxing. So I'm going to start off with the one that I knew I was going to get, which is the Before trilogy, directed by Richard Linklater. These are three of my favorite films of all time, and Richard Linklater is one of my probably top 5 favorite filmmakers of all time. And this trilogy is probably just the best trilogy of all time. I haven't seen the Three Colors trilogy. I've heard that that's also very good, but this is just incredible. And I really love the design of the way that they did this little box set here. I'll show it off. You got the 3 movies here. And yeah, I guess I just kind of wanted to flip through and show you guys what I got. If you haven't seen the Before trilogy, it's very influential to me and the things that I am interested in. And if you saw my video that I made recently about like Gen X slacker movies, Before Sunrise, I don't know if you would call it a slacker movie, but it does have this sort of air of like people, all of these movies are just two people talking. Not just that. I don't want to minimize it to that. It's about love and relationships and human connection, but they are primarily comprised of two people talking throughout the entire movies. And all of them were set in movie time and in real time 9 years apart from one another. So the first one, Before Sunrise, I believe came out in 1995. And then I want to show you. So Before Sunrise came out in 1995. And then Before Sunset, this one right here, came out in 2004. And then Before Midnight came out in 2013. It's really one of the best examples of what Richard Linklater has kind of made a name for himself of doing. And I don't want to call it gimmicky, but using time to his advantage in his filmmaking. I mean, taking 12 years to make something like Boyhood, or shooting an adaptation of Merrily We Roll Along with Paul Mescal for the next 20 years. He never ceases to amaze me with the way that he uses time in the real world to influence his movies. And these 3 movies right here are sort of where it all started. Before Sunrise. So right here you get these 3 little packets, I guess, and you open them up. Yep, and we see Ethan Hawke right here and Julie Delpy, our 2 protagonists. Ethan Hawke plays a guy named Jesse, and Julie Delpy plays Celine. Jesse and Celine, 2 of the greatest lovers on film. Yeah, and then you get this little booklet. I figure out the best way to show this to you all, but usually these booklets come with a ton of essays. It looks like this one does. Really wonderful stuff. This is the only one that comes with a little booklet comprised of essays. I haven't read these yet, and I'm eventually going to be doing a little rewatch of these movies with my girlfriend, who hasn't seen any of them. And I was like, look, we have to set aside an entire day, or however many hours it'll take to watch these. and we need to watch them back to back. We're going to do a little mini marathon of these 3 movies, and we'll see how that goes. I think that these movies touch on so many aspects of romantic relationships and about love that sometimes people don't react the way you think they will, or these movies almost act as a bit of a litmus test for how strong a relationship is going. And I actually remember showing Before Midnight to an ex-girlfriend of mine many years ago, and I don't want to say that it started an argument. It definitely got a little bit heated after we watched it. I think that our opinions on certain things were a little bit skewed, and yeah, I don't know. This is just an excellent trilogy, excellent little box set, and I'm so excited to have this in my library. I haven't owned any of these films on physical media before, and the fact that they are Blu-rays also cool. Not that I have anything wrong with regular DVDs, but you got to future-proof these things, and now 4K is a whole thing. It's all right. Moving on to the next one that was an easy selection of mine. The way that I sort of select things on Criterion when it comes to these flash sales is I like to look at filmmakers whose work I don't own anything of yet. I was looking on there and I was like, oh, maybe I get Wes Anderson, or maybe I get Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, or maybe I get Brazil by Terry Gilliam, or The Fisher King, or something like that. So many great options. And I decided to go with a film that I actually only saw recently, and it is Brian De Palma's Blowout. Now, I watched this film for the first time maybe like 5 months ago. I don't really remember, but it was pretty recently. And God, this movie just blew me away. And ever since watching this, Brian De Palma has become a bit of an obsession of mine. And take note of that, because filmmakers becoming an obsession of mine is a running theme here, as we'll see with the next disc that I got. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, John Travolta delivers an incredible performance. I cannot say the same for Nancy Allen in this movie. I think Nancy Allen plays one of the most annoying characters in any movie I have ever seen. But oddly enough, that one blemish on this movie does not detract from how visceral this movie is and how tense this movie is. And God, this movie is just entertaining through and through in such a grimy, seedy Brian De Palma way. So we open it up. So this is actually the 4K Blu-ray combo edition. So when we open it up, we see we've got the Blu-ray and 4K discs right on here. And then over here, we have a little booklet. I'll take the booklet out. Let's see what's on the other side of the booklet. Look at that. And we flip through the booklet here, and we get some other stills from the movie. Let's see. And we get some essays. We have an essay here from Michael Sargau called American Scream. Again, I haven't read any of these yet. I usually like to put the movie on and then read a little bit afterwards. I don't really like to spoil things. I mean, I've already seen this movie, but if I'm ever doing a blind buy, I like to put the movie on and then read the essays afterwards, because sometimes they do spoil some things. If you've seen the movie, you understand like the context of what these images are showing here. The movie is all about how John Travolta's character is a sound recordist for sound effects for B movies, usually B horror movies. And he's out one night trying to record sound effects on a bridge when a car goes careening into the river, and that car is carrying a government official. And then a conspiracy starts to unwind that maybe the car accident wasn't an accident, And John Travolta is the one kind of uncovering all of this, while some people are trying to keep him quiet. Really, really amazing stuff. I believe the inspiration to make this was Antonioni's Blow Up, which is a movie I think I liked, but I didn't love, and I greatly prefer Blowout. That might be sacrilegious to say. Let me know in the comments if you prefer Blow Up to Blowout, or just which one you prefer. But yeah, personally, Blowout to me is way more my speed. And yeah, I'm really excited to have this in my arsenal. And let's move on to the next one. I just mentioned with Blowout that I have a habit of getting obsessed with filmmakers and then trying to do deep dives into their entire filmography. And someone else I have been obsessed with lately has been Henri Georges Clouzot. It all started not with the one you would think, but actually I saw a movie called La Prisonnière, or Women in Chains. And I watched this movie as part of a series for my other channel. It's sort of about a love affair between a photographer and an aspiring model. And it's a really, really tense movie and really engaging movie, really beautiful, lush, colorful cinematography. Check that one out because I think it's one of Clouzot, I think it was his last movie, but is certainly his least known about movie. And then after that, I watched Wages of Fear, which then absolutely shattered my mind. I was like, why the fuck haven't I heard of this guy? After Wages of Fear, I found Le Corbeau in a little store not far from me here in New York. I found it in Manhattan. And I watched that. Also blew my mind. And so when it came time to be doing this Criterion haul, I saw La Vérité on there. And I was like, you know what? Clouzot has been this ongoing guy in my life right now. So let me check it out. I knew next to nothing about it other than it was a courtroom drama starring Brigitte Bardot in what a lot of people considered to be Brigitte Bardot's finest performance. And I gotta say, I haven't seen everything that Brigitte Bardot has been in. I've maybe only seen like 4 or 5 of her movies, but goddamn, she gives a powerhouse of a performance in this. And this is certainly should be in consideration for like top courtroom dramas of all time. Came out in 1960. And so it sort of predates a lot of the courtroom dramas we think of nowadays, save for like 12 Angry Men. But it really is fascinating. It's about a woman who is the suspect of a murder of her ex-lover. And she is on trial for this murder, and it flashes back and forth between the court and the events leading up to the eventual murder. I will say, I don't know if it sticks the landing. You might disagree with me on that. If you've seen La Vérité, let me know, do you think that this movie stuck the landing? Because it sort of didn't for me. And this is sometimes an issue that I have with like older French films or films from other cultures. Sometimes I just don't think that I understand what they're trying to say. And this, I think, is one of those. And yeah, if anyone can explain La Vérité's ending to me, not that it's like a twist ending or anything like that. I mean, it kind of is, but it's a twist in the way that it goes against her expectations, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So the ending didn't really do it for me, but Brigitte Bardot's performance really, really is a knockout. And let me see if I could find Sammy Frey, who plays her lover in this movie. Also, powerhouse performance, gotta say. It has a lot of Clouzot's regulars in it. A lot of the people from Wages of Fear or from Diabolique show up in this. It's really, really wonderful film. Definitely check it out. I'll do a little unboxing and then we could be on our way. That's the inside right there. I love this. I love this little image that they use for the disc. And then we take out the little booklet here. We're going to have an essay. Let's see. Is there an essay? There is. Oh, it's one of these. It's one of the ones you have to open up entirely, like a centerfold. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Show you the other side. Yeah, so the essay in here is called Woman on Trial by Jeanette Vincendeau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I didn't read this, but yeah, this was a bit of a blind buy for me. I mean, I knew I could trust my man Clouzot, and I'm so excited to finish watching every single movie in his filmography. Go check out La Vérité if you haven't. And that's going to do it for me. It was a pretty modest haul. I spent $100 on these 5 films right here. And yeah, let me know. What did you get for this most recent March 2025 Criterion 50% off sale? Let me know if you want to see more of more videos like this whenever there's a sale. I usually like to pick something up. And yeah, I have a lot of packing to do. I have a lot of moving that has to get done in the next couple of weeks. So things on this channel might be slowing down in the interim, but they will be back to normal whenever I'm established in my new apartment and I have my whole setup and I'm able to go to the movies and have some thoughts about movies. I really want to actually take this time, for whatever amount of time I have, to thank everyone who watched the Gen X video. That video kind of sent my channel into heights I wasn't expecting. So thank you to anyone who watched the channel and is here because of that video. I hope that I can keep making content like that, these little video essays about subgenres or about just little things in movies and cinema and the industry that I'm noticing. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when new videos come out, and I'll see you all next time.